We have breaking news right now. Fort Stewart in Georgia is on lockdown because of an active shooter. Army officials say there are casualties and the incident is ongoing. They say one of the sections of the base was locked down around 11 a.m. and that law enforcement is on the scene. The FBI is also now offering support. Not a lot of details here yet, but of course we are monitoring this situation. What we do know right now is what the Army is telling us, an active shooter. So it sounds like right now this is still ongoing. And again, they are confirming there are victims here. ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez has more on this. Louis, what do we know so far?
Well, Diane, not much more than what you have been reporting so far, but what I can tell you is that when I've spoken to Army officials here at the Pentagon, they are very concerned about what is going on there and trying to get as many details as possible. One of the things that they're just not certain of right now is any information about the potential number of casualties that there may have been. We have that confirmation from Fort Stewart that, yes, there have been casualties in this incident, but they don't have a grasp yet, which is one part of the information flow that is not making its way here to the Pentagon. I should point out that Fort Stewart is a very large base. It's a very important base for the Army. It's home to the Army's 3rd Infantry Division, which is one of its larger armored units. So there's a lot of training that goes on there as well. There's also some attached airfields where some training goes on, and it's close to Savannah, Georgia. So when we see information about something like this, there are a couple of things to remember. We should remember that access to weapons on military bases is not easy. At all times, whenever there is any kind of a military some kind of a shooting on a military base, we should remember that all weapons are accounted for and are kept in armories. So therefore, the only access that soldiers have to their weapons is through registered training, and it's when it's taken out of their armory. So when something like this happens, it more than likely will involve personal weaponry, which they are allowed to have as long as these are registered weapons. So for now, a lot of information is still trying to process its way here to the Pentagon, but we at least have this same confirmation from Fort Stewart's Public Affairs Office that there is a lockdown, that there have been some casualties, and that there is an ongoing active shooter situation.
And Louis, they're saying this was in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area. Do you know anything more about that location?
Well, this would be what it is that the base is a division headquarters. And so essentially that means we're talking about 20,000 personnel. Divisions are divided into brigades. So this is an armored unit, so that's why they have armored in their title. Brigade Combat Team is a division of about 3,500, 4,000 soldiers. And the various brigades make up the division. So this would have been an area that would have been potentially just designated for potentially a headquarters area for this brigade combat team, or some kind of logistics facilities assigned to this. Remember, we are talking about an armored brigade, so there would be a lot of military hardware. We're talking about specifically Bradley fighting vehicles. We're talking about tanks. So you're going to have some maintenance areas, some depots that are associated with each one of these combat teams. So it's unclear exactly which one of these facilities that I've just listed is the one that is associated specifically with the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team, but at least we know this information coming from Fort Stewart right now.
And Louis, we're hearing the FBI is now offering assistance. How does that part of this work in terms of trying to now coordinate the law enforcement response?
Well, there's a lot of coordination taking place, Diane, because this is a federal facility. So automatically, the federal government's law enforcement arms are going to be involved. And in this case, this would be the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. You also have local law enforcement, some of which you're seeing on your screen there. When a situation like this takes place at a military facility, you're going to see a surge of resources from the local community as well as the in-house security forces at some of these facilities. So we immediately start thinking about military policemen, but there's also a civilian law enforcement force that is active at most military bases. They are affiliated with the Pentagon. And so then you see the civilian law enforcement from neighboring counties, from cities, neighborhoods around the military bases. You also see the military police. You also see the coordination with some of that civilian Pentagon law enforcement that we're talking about. So you're going to see a surge in resources. Another thing that you're going to see at a military facility as large as Fort Stewart is that there is also a medical facility associated with the base. And in this case, it's the Wynn Medical Center. So we are reaching out to see if there are any reports of any casualties that have been transferred to that facility.
All right, Louis Martinez for us at the Pentagon. Louis, thank you. And again, Fort Stewart in Georgia there is on lockdown right now because of an active shooter. The Army is confirming casualties and says law enforcement is on the scene. We will continue to follow that breaking news and bring you more information as we get it.